Good morning, dear students. Welcome to our English class. We have already completed part 1 of Unit 10 from our Honeysuckle NCERT textbook, that is the banyan tree, right? Part 1 we have already seen how the author or the writer or the young boy used to sit in the banyan tree and look below the things happening, and one day he finds a very amazing thing, that is a fight between a cobra and a mongoose. Okay, now let's move ahead to part 2. Here I'll read paragraph and I'll explain you paragraph wise the story. So let's start. The warm breezes of approaching summer had sent everyone, including the gardener, into the house. I was feeling drowsy myself, wondering if I should go to the pond and have a swim with Ramo and the buffaloes, when I saw a huge black cobra gliding out of a clump of cactus. At the same time, a mongoose emerged from the bushes and went straight for the cobra. Okay, so in the 7th paragraph, what is said that one day the heat was extreme and warm breezes, matlab garam hawa sab beh rahi thi, and everyone was inside the house. Even the gardener went into the house, and even the author, the writer, the young boy, he was feeling drowsy. Drowsy means he wanted to sleep, but then he thought of having a dip in the pond and swim with the Ramu and the buffaloes. He was wondering like what to do, what not to do, and suddenly what did he see? He saw a black cobra, a huge black cobra gliding out of the clump of cactus. मतलब cactus की झाड़ियों में से एक बड़ा सा कोबरा बाहर निकल रहा था, और at the same time a mongoose also emerged, और उसका एनिमी मंगूस भी सामने से बुशेस में से बाहर निकला और सीधा कोबरा के पास जाने लगा. So that was the fantastic scene which he saw on that warm afternoon. Okay, in a clearing beneath the banyan tree in the bright sunshine, they came face to face. The cobra knew only too well that the grey mongoose, 3 feet long, was a superb fighter, clever and aggressive. But the cobra too was a skillful and experienced fighter. So what is being said over here, students, that under the banyan tree everything was clear in the sunshine, and both the cobra and the mongoose came face to face, and even the cobra knew that the grey mongoose, which is 3 feet long, what is the length? 3 feet long, was a superb fighter. He's a very nice fighter. He's clever and aggressive. The cobra is knowing everything, but the cobra too was skillful and experienced fighter. Okay, तो कोबरा को भी पता था कि वो भी skillful और experienced fighter है. Plus cobra was also knowing that the grey mongoose, which is 3 feet long, is a super fighter. He is very clever and aggressive. Aggressive मतलब गुस्से वाला. Okay. He could move swiftly and strike with the speed of light, and the sacks behind his long, sharp fangs were full of deadly poison, and it was to be a battle of champions. So, what does it mean? That even the cobra was very swift in the movements and could strike with the speed of light. मतलब बहुत तेज था कोबरा भी, कुछ ऐसा लेजी या आलसी नहीं था. He was able to move very swiftly, and with the strike of speed of light he could move. Along with that he had a sacs behind his long sharp fangs. Fangs मतलब वो जब अपना हेड पूरा बड़ा सा कर देता है ना स्नेक, तो उसके जो दांत होते हैं, दांत के अंदर डेडली पॉइजन होता है. मुंह के अंदर छोटी छोटी सैक्स होते हैं, सैक्स के अंदर पॉइजन होता है, और वो जो बैग्स होते हैं, सैक्स होते हैं, वो टीथ के साथ कनेक्टेड होते हैं. तो जब भी वो बाइट करता है तो तुरंत ही पॉइजन सामने वाले की बॉडी में चला जाता है. तो कोबरा वॉज हैविंग दैट टू. ओके, देन व्हाट नेक्स्ट? Hissing defense, his forked tongue darting in and out, the cobra raised 3 of his 6 feet off the ground and spread its broad spectacled hood. The mongoose bushed his tail, the long hair on his spine stood up. So what did the cobra do? Cobra gave a hissing sound, ऐसे करके आवाज़ निकाली और उसकी जीभ अंदर बाहर हो रही थी, and he started to move towards mongoose. Then the mongoose was also not afraid. He also started bushing his tail, means moving his tail, and the long hair on his spine stood up. Whose spine? Mongoose spine. They stood up. Okay. Though the combatants were unaware of my presence in the tree, they were soon made aware of the arrival of two other spectators. So these two fighters were not knowing that the author is sitting in the banyan tree and watching them from upstairs. वो ऊपर से देख रहे हैं, ऐसा इन दोनों को पता नहीं था. लेकिन फिर दो और स्पेक्टेटर्स आए. स्पेक्टेटर्स मतलब कोई गेम चल रहा हो, कोई फाइट चल रही हो, कोई मैच चल रहा हो, तो जो देखने वाले होते हैं ना, जो बैठ के ताली बजाते हैं या एंकरेज करते हैं, उनको स्पेक्टेटर्स कहते हैं. Okay, so there was an arrival of two other spectators. One was Maina, okay, and the other was a jungle crow. So Maina and Crow also arrived to see the fight of the mongoose as well as the cobra. They had seen these preparations for battle and had settled on the cactus to watch the outcome. Had they been content only to watch, all would have been well with both of them. सो जैसे ऑथर बैनियन ट्री के ऊपर चढ़कर ये फाइट देख रहे थे, वैसे ही मैना और क्रो दे केम एंड दे सैट ऑन द कैक्टस प्लांट एंड दे स्टार्टेड टू वॉच. अगर सिर्फ वो देखते होते तो सब कुछ अच्छा होता, लेकिन सिर्फ उन्होंने देखा नहीं, उन्होंने बीच में क्या क्या किया, दैट वी विल रीड. ओके, सो दे स्टार्टेड इंटरफेयरिंग इन द फाइट ऑफ द मंगूस एंड द cobra. So one of them have to pay. The cobra stood on the defensive, swaying slowly from side to side, trying to mesmerize the mongoose into making a false move. But the mongoose knew the power of his opponent's glassy, unwinking eyes and refused to meet them. Instead, he fixed his gaze at a point just below the cobra's hood and opened the attack. So what happened then? The mongoose knew the power of the opponent's glassy unwinking eyes. तो जो कोबरा था ना, he was trying to mesmerize मतलब he wanted to control the mongoose, but he could not because the mongoose was not looking in the eyes of the cobra. And what was he doing? He was looking below the hood, okay, below cobra's hood, and then he started to attack over the cobras. And even the cobra was moving very fastly from side to side in order to make a false move for the mongoose. But the mongoose was very intelligent and he was not at all diverted by the false move of the cobra. Okay, moving forward quickly until he was just within the cobra's reach, the mongoose made a pretended move to one side. Immediately the cobra stuck. His great hood came down so swiftly that I thought nothing could save the mongoose. But the little fellow jumped neatly to one side and darted in as swiftly as the cobra, biting the snake on the back and darting away again out of reach. Now here the real fight started. Okay, they both are attacking each other. The cobra moved forward quickly in order to reach the mongoose, but mongoose pretended to move to one side and immediately the cobra also moved that side. ठीक है, वो भी उसी तरफ गया, लेकिन इतना फास्ट गया कि वो मंगूस अपने आप को बचा नहीं सकता था. और वो ऑथर जो ऊपर से देख रहे थे, उनको ऐसा लगा कि अब तो मंगूस गया, लेकिन मंगूस इतना फास्ट था कि दूसरी साइड पे उसने जंप कर लिया और डार्टेड मतलब जंप करना, ठीक है, और स्विफ्ट एकदम स्विफ्ट मूवमेंट किया और कोबरा को कंफ्यूज कर दिया. और तुरंत ही उसने स्नेक को बाइट भी किया एट द बैक और फिर उसके ऊपर से जंप करके साइड पे चला गया. सो द मंगूस वॉज वेरी फास्ट. Okay, at the same moment that the cobra struck, the crow and the manna hurled themselves at him, only to collide heavily. अब ये जो मैना और क्रो थे वो भी बीच में टांग अड़ा रहे थे. दे वर ऑल्सो इंटरप्टिंग इन द फाइट. ओके, तो जैसे ही कोबरा मार खा के गिरा तो तुरंत ही मैना और क्रो दोनों उड़ने लगे उसके ऊपर. ओके, shrieking insults at each other, they returned to the cactus plant. A few drops of blood glistened on cobra's back. ठीक है, तो ऐसे वो बीच बीच में उड़ उड़ के जा रहे थे कि चलो हम भी कोबरा को मारते हैं. बिकॉज यू नो दीज कोबराज एंड अदर स्नेक्स, दे क्लाइम अप द ट्री एंड ईट अवे द एग्स ऑफ दीज बर्ड्स. तो मे बी उसकी वजह से वो लोग चाहते थे कि कोबरा को चलो हम भी थोड़ा सा मारते, बट उनसे हुआ नहीं. ठीक है, और जो कोबरा था उसके पीछे जो बैक पे जब मंगूस ने उसको काटा तो उसमें खून के ड्रॉप्स दिखने लग गए. ग्लिस्टन मीन्स टू शाइन. धूप में वो ड्रॉपलेट्स चमकते हुए दिखने लग गए. The cobra stuck and missed. Again the mongoose sprang aside, jumped in and bit. Again the birds dived at the snake, bumped to each other instead, and returned shrieking to safely off the cactus. So what did the cobra do? Cobra again started to attack, and again the mongoose also attacked. Mongoose ran and he jumped aside, and again he used the same trick and bit the cobra. And as soon as the cobra got hurt, what did the birds do? The birds started flying in order to hurt the cobra again, but they could not hurt him, and they again went to the cactus and sat safely, right? The third round followed the same courses as the first, but with one dramatic difference. The crow and the manna, still determined to take part in the proceedings, dived at the cobra, but this time they missed each other as well as their mark. The manna flew on and reached its perch, but the crow tried to pull up in the mid-air and turned back. In the second that it took the bird to do this, the cobra whipped his head back and struck with great force and his snout thudding against the crow's body. तो अब यहाँ पे क्या हुआ ना, जैसे थर्ड टाइम भी वही हुआ, सेम टाइप की फाइट हुई. द कोबरा वॉज अगेन हर्टेड, बट दिस टाइम समथिंग डिफरेंट हैपेंड. व्हाट वाज दैट? क्रो एंड मैना फिर से उड़े, ट्राई कर रहे थे कि कोबरा को चोंच मारे, लेकिन हुआ नहीं. सो व्हाट डिड ही डू? He tried to flew back, turn back, and again tried to strike the cobra, right? But this time he failed. And what did the cobra do? He stood up, raised its fang, and then introduced poison in crow's body, right? So you can see in the image, the crow is no more there, he's dead, and the manna is safe. She is flying away to the cactus to sit there. Okay, so the this cobra had killed the crow, right? This thing happened in the third round. The snake and the mongoose returned to the fight, very wisely decided not to interfere again. The cobra was weakening, and the mongoose, walking fearlessly up to it, raised himself on his short legs and with a lightning snap had the big snake by the snout. सो व्हाट इज सेड ओवर हियर कि स्नेक और मंगूस फिर से अपनी फाइट पे वापस आ गए, और जो मैना थी उसने डिसाइड किया कि अब मैं वहाँ जाऊँगी नहीं, कोबरा को डिस्टर्ब करूँगी नहीं. द कोबरा वॉज weakening and the mongoose was walking fearlessly towards the big snake. कोबरा मार खा रहा था और मंगूस fearlessly उसकी तरफ बढ़ रहा था. फिर what happened then? The cobra withered and lashed about in a frightening manner and even coiled itself about the mongoose, but to no avail. The little fellow hung grimly on until the snake had ceased to struggle. फिर बेचारा जो कोबरा था, थका हुआ, wounded one, what did he do? He started to coil around the mongoose. मंगूस के आजू बाजू अपने आप को लपेटने लगा, लेकिन उसका भी कोई सक्सेस उसको मिला नहीं. He was not successful in that, and the mongoose also caught the cobra till he started to stop the struggle. मतलब जब तक वो हिलना डुलना बंद नहीं करे तब तक उसने पकड़ के रखा था. किसने? मंगूस ने. किसको? कोबरा को. He then smelt along its quivering length, gripped it around the hood and dragged it into the bushes. और at the end जब snake ने struggle करना बंद कर दिया, तब क्या किया? मंगूस ने उसको अपने दांतों से पकड़ कर खींचते हुए बुशेस के अंदर लेके गया. तो कौन जीता? मंगूस जीता. द मैना ड्रॉप्ड cautiously to the ground, hopped about, peered to the bushes from a safe distance, and then with a shrill of cry, congratulations, flew away. So what did the manna do? Manna saw that the cobra is dead and the mongoose is taking it into the bushes. Then she slowly dropped from the cactus plant and then hopped on the ground. She went to the bushes where the mongoose and the cobra were there, and from a safe distance she gave a small shrill of cry. Means छोटी छोटी आवाज़ में उसने congratulations बोला और फिर वो उड़ गई. So that is all the story about, students. It's written by Ruskin Bond. So part 1 and part 2 is clear. That's all for today. Do read the chapter. See you all soon.